Okay, so we have Kunal with us now.
Hello,
Hi, Kunal, what's up?
doing good. Day full of meetings. How are you?
Yeah, I'm doing good. I see you haven't asked me anything session as well after this.
After session?
You haven't asked me anything session as well on your YouTube.
Yeah, I have a AMA session. Yeah.
Yeah, so feel free to join that session after this. I think that session would be
No, no, no.
random.
This is about virtual tech school. So we'll talk about that only.
Okay. So, Kunal, we got a lot of questions. We got a lot of questions from people, and most of the questions were repeated. So we created a list of questions that we had, and I think it's 8:30 now, the time that we had to start the session. So, before we start the session, Kunal, would you like to say anything to address the crowd that we have with us?
Yeah. Uh, the work speaks for itself. So Apoorv does very nice work, and you can check out his YouTube channel. His teaching skills are very nice. I've known him since he was my like childhood friend. So you're all in good hands in the community. But yeah, just help each other grow. And one thing that I would share is that in order to create value, what you can do is you can take notes during the session, and at the end of the session, you can write a Twitter thread around it, and you can tag Virtual Tech School. Don't tag anyone else. You don't have to tag me. Just tag Virtual Tech School. Um, yeah, but if you want, yeah, but and then you can just write your what you learned, and then folks who might not be able to join, they can read it quickly. But yeah, really excited, happy to answer questions.
Yeah, thanks, Kunal, for the kind words and the free promotion as well. Always welcome to that. So we have our first question, which is one of the most asked question that is out there, which is how to get remote job as a fresher, since most of the companies ask for prior experience.
Yeah, it depends on the role. Um, um, if you're a fresher, then people don't expect you to be an expert, but they expect you to have decent level of experience that a fresher might have. So I just recommend, you know, making the most out of your university life, because if you don't do that, then you will face issues later on. Because if you're already working in the technical industry for like, let's say, um, 4 to 5 years, and after that you try to get a better job, then people will ask you like, okay, you worked for 4 to 5 years after university, we can't give you a fresher job now. We are only having opening roles for, like, let's say, decent mid-level engineers or senior engineers or whatever. And most people, they get into like mass recruiters or whatever, and then they don't get any experience, or they don't build their profile or portfolio, and then they have difficulty getting a senior level position. So I'd recommend, as a fresher, try to get a job that is like, that also helps you grow, like personally, skill wise and nature wise, and that's what I would recommend. Just how to get a remote job? There's no one right answer. Just find out what your niche is: web development, DevOps, or whatever you like, and then network with people in that domain, and represent your knowledge. Like, you can. So by the way, I'll do one promotion for myself. So we at We Make Devs, we do monthly blogging challenges. You can join those. You can go to vmakedevs.org/hashnode, and Apoorv, maybe you can share it in your Discord later. But yeah, you can go there, and there we have mentioned. So basically, the idea is we promote learning in public. So you can write a blog on anything, and we give away prizes and swag and stuff. So you can start your own, like, let's say, newsletter. Like Apoorv has his own, I think, on Hashnode as well. So you can start your newsletter. It's free, so it's like you don't have to pay anything, and you can. What are the things you can do to represent your knowledge? You can be active on social media. You can network people. You can go to events, make projects, go to hackathons, contribute to open source, um, do community work. So these are all the things that I've just mentioned, like 7, 8 things. All of these things will help you quite a lot if you're a student, because you will not get time to do this once you're not a student. So make use of it. Better, one thing you can do right now is, You can even write a blog on whatever you learn in this session, right? And you can write it for our hash note challenges, and we'll give away some prizes for you. So after the session is over, I'd love to hear your blogs. Read your blogs, and more information can be found in the link. Yeah,
Yeah,
but
thanks,
there's no one
thanks,
right answer. Just
thanks.
apply and yeah, network and apply and work very hard. Keep
Yes.
applying.
Yeah, so just a follow-up question on that. A lot of people ask that if the hackathons that they participate in, or the ambassador programs that are here and there, for different companies and organizations, do these count as experience?
Yeah, but ambassador programs also where you are like actually doing something. Um, and if it's just for like the promotion of the brand, then it doesn't matter. Like IIT event campus ambassadors things. These are very popular in colleges, so that has no value. Um, you're not an IIT and you're not working with IIT people. You're not enrolled in IIT as a student. You're just an campus ambassador. You're just doing marketing. That's not good. But other programs like GitHub Campus Experts, MLH Coaches, these two programs, by the way, are very difficult to get into. Some easier ones are Microsoft Learn Student Ambassadors and stuff. I am forming CNCF students right now, so there will be like some opportunity for you to get involved with CNCF also. Uh, and Yeah, there's plenty of programs out there. You're part of Virtual Tech School, so that's also you're part of a community. These definitely counts as experience, and you should definitely um, go for it. Yeah,
Okay, so
until and unless you are like next level coder, then you don't have to.
yeah. So one question that confuses a lot of students in today's time is that how to know when it is the right time to apply for remote jobs. So what is the right answer to that according to you?
A little bit skills you have, it's fine, and then apply and do. If you are not, if you feel like you are not skilled enough, then apply with the motivation of like not getting selected, but learning something new from the rejection. Um, so no, you have nothing to lose, and yeah, if it's even remotely related to your job, to your profile or whatever, you can apply and then you can learn from your experience if you get rejected, and then you can prepare.
Okay. And we often talk about, having a nice portfolio, building projects, and, resume and,
Hmm.
all these things. So, what are the things to consider specifically when you're applying to a remote job? What should be there in your resume, in your portfolio when you're applying for a remote job?
You have to have proof of work. So be that projects or open source contributions or work experiences, previous internships. Um, yeah, too much proof of work should be there. Don't add anything non technical in your resume. Like don't add your profile picture. Don't add your home address. Some people add like married, not married. Don't add that. Don't add hobbies. I like art and craft. I like cooking. Don't add these things. Don't add the introduction like I'm a very passionate person looking to. No, don't add that. Keep it technical. Your skills, the projects you have done, what tech stacks you used, any stats. If you can include stats in your resume, that plays a very nice role. Um, so Apoorv, you can share your resume. I saw Apoorv's resume is very good. The one he used, just the new one, and keep it just simple and focus on putting out your experience as much as possible on the resume. So like your blogs, for example, your projects, your open source contributions, your if you went to a hackathon, so if you won some prizes over there, you add that. Um, yeah.
Yeah, and numbers go a very long way. So the team size that you worked in and things like that, all those stats are going to help you in your resumes and your portfolio. So Kunal, one more question that has been like asked very frequently is that can you tell about the interview process and the salary negotiations when you apply for remote work?
Um, I never did salary negotiation. So I don't have any tips for salary negotiation because I have never done it in my life. Um, just because like the first offer that they will give you will be very tempting. So maybe you can do salary negotiation, but I don't think it's worth it because if you're just in like second year, third year, you're getting a remote job, they offer you 50 lakhs per annum base pay with stocks additional. What student in India will like negotiate with that? um, so I never did salary negotiation because I got like more than most people who work in India because I work remotely. But I think salary negotiation is, if you're working remotely, I don't think you should worry about it. You're already getting paid more than the 1% of the country. Um, so salary negotiation stuff is for like, people who live in the US or Europe or whatever. But if you're earning in dollars and spending in rupees, then I don't think you should worry about it. You yourself would know if you're doing I think you can do salary negotiation like after a few years in the company or whatever. But if you're just starting out and you're getting a very amazing offer, sure, you go for it. If it's the company's good, in the end, do what you want. But yeah.
Okay, and can you tell us a little bit about the interview process as well? Like, are there any DSA rounds in remote work, and what kind of questions are asked in DSA rounds and things like that? A lot of students, ask these questions.
Yeah, there is no DSA round in most companies, at least what I have seen. Um, Maybe some companies, but very, very rarely. Um, Mostly they focus on your previous experience, put stuff you put on your resume, and their job profile. So, like what the job requires and everything. So, just prepare whatever you put on your resume and study the job profile.
Yeah, and one thing that I would like to add to that answer is that there are different rounds when you go for an interview process. So there are going to be cultural rounds as well. As much as the company wants you to, be the person who, fits into their culture and their,
Hmm.
whatever they're looking for, you should also strive to look for a company that,
Yeah.
is good for you.
The thing is, if you get a job via community, then there is no cultural round.
Yeah.
Like मेरा आज तक HR round नहीं हुआ. I never did HR. I don't even know what an HR like looks like. So I have never given HR round because I am involved with the community and everyone knows the community work and I speak to them on daily basis. But yeah, companies sometimes do it. It's like I'm not saying they don't do it. Like we do it as well where I work right now.
Mm.
But if you let's say imagine that if you're directly talking to the CEO every day, why would they need to do your HR round?
Yeah. Yeah, makes
CEO
sense.
says he gets a job, he gets a job. That's it. No HR, nothing.
Yeah. Yeah. So there's a lot of buzz around Devrel, and I think Sayyam also did a session yesterday. It was an amazing session. But Kunal, can you shed some light on how to become a Devrel engineer, and does the content creation, how much role does the content creation plays when you're aspiring to become a
Hmm.
Devrel engineer?
Yeah. Just Devrel is like you're an external part of your organization. I think you're representing, your um, organization or whatever. And with Devrel, I just recommend it's not for beginners. Like you have to be experienced, um, and that's what I would recommend. You yourself would know if Devrel is for you or not. So, for example, you want to encourage, using your uh, companies like tools or SDKs or whatever. Um, it's also there's two strains to it: outward developer advocacy and internal developer advocacy. Outward means towards the your business and your customers. Internal means like within your own teams and things like that. Um, yeah, that's what I would recommend, but I would not recommend it as a fresh job, like first job. I would also not recommend being a DevRel at a company that does not have a DevRel strategy established if you're a beginner, because then they would encourage you to do it, and you are a beginner, so you won't know. So if you want to get into it, get a get an idea of like development and software, like get some experience in a company, and then after like 1 year or something, you can transition into like DevOps or sorry, in DevRel as well. Content creation part, it's not no, it's not really mandatory. Content creation part, absolutely not. But yeah, blogging and just putting the like bridging the gap, like using like for example, documentation is a great example. So yeah, the documentation, for example, yeah, sure. But if it's like, hey, do I have to create videos? Do I have to be active in like Twitter Spaces and do all these marketing stuff that I don't like for DevRel? No, you don't have to do it. Um, it's a highly technical role, and that's why like it's more about building relationships, which is different than marketing.
Again, and just like a follow-up question, how does the success of a Devrel gets measured? I mean, there must be some,
Yeah,
metrics.
that's defining KPIs is very hard. I mean, it depends. If you're getting for example, with me, new users, new open source projects onboarded in our marketplace, new like for example outreach of our product, communicating the value, the messaging of the organization, and all sorts of things. So it depends. Like it depends on like what you're doing and what role you are in, and what your company does. Yeah.
Okay, so moving on to the next question, and I'll quote this question. So, how to gain the right skills and get a remote job as an experienced developer and make a switch from a service-based to a product-based company?
Yeah, I mean, if you're working in service-based company, and if you're not really building your like file or whatever, then I'd recommend like contribute to open source, or just do something relevant, and open source can help you in that. And I just recommend if you have 2 years of experience, just network with people and say like, hey, I'm looking for a job change. How can I help out? If you already have a 2 years of experience, maybe you can try another role that is like a junior level role because we work in a service based company. Um, but yeah, there's again no one right answer. You just have to apply. You have to uh, build your resume and just network with the right people. Um, Try freelancing as well. You can do freelancing. That will help you, build your credibility. For example, get testimonials from your clients or whatever. That on your resume, and then apply because it will be very difficult for you if you don't have a good profile. Uh, by profile, I don't mean followers. I mean like projects and experiences and all these things. So do that.
Okay. Okay, now moving on to the next question. Kunal, a lot of students are confused about open source and they always ask like what are the means to contribute into open source and if open source is the only way to find remote jobs. So, what's your say on that?
It's not the only way. There's like you can do code contributions, you can do non-code contributions, like documentation and stuff. Um, Open source is not mandatory. Like it's not like you can only get it via open source only, but it's very it helps a lot, like too much. So if you can, then do it. But if you're not doing open source, then I'd recommend like uh, make good projects, network with people on your own, go to events, do all sorts of things. But open source helps doing all of these things like automatically. So you get a nice resume, projects, skills, networking, events that you can go to, referrals. So even though it's not mandatory, but it helps. And most of the companies use and contribute to open source. So if you want to work at the best way to let's say get a job at for example Red Hat is contribute to the open source projects. If you contribute to Red Hat open source, you will get a job offer in India at least. It's very very simple. Um, so yeah, I mean open source helps like quite a lot. Um, what was the other question?
I just wanted you to like highlight some of the other ways uh, apart from open source that can increase your chances in getting a remote job.
Apart from that, just build your portfolio. I'd say work on nice things, do good things, talk to people, have technical discussions in public, write blogs. Um, these are all for like I'm saying for like junior level folks. And what else? Just keep applying. Um, yeah,
Okay, so like how does a lot of people ask that okay, we have a profile on Twitter, we have a profile on LinkedIn maybe, and we create some content. So how does these things help in finding a remote job? Just
so you get discovered. You get discovered, and you're putting your knowledge out there. You have the credibility there, um, and mm, you're teaching someone, so that's always good. You're representing your knowledge. So it's a good conversation starter as well, and it's still a good like I'm not saying if you do all these things you will definitely get a job, but you will get some attraction. People will talk to you, will be like, hey, I read your blog. Do you have some more time to like discuss about it? So people would discuss, and then they'll be like, okay, this person is discussing with me, so they actually know what they're talking about, and they're not just uh, just posting anything from copy pasting from Google. So it's not like a 100% guarantee, but it's a very good starter point, is what I would say. Having your like blog and a newsletter and your own portfolio and your projects and everything. It just gets you an interview, for example, and then you take it from there.
Okay, okay. So, like moving on to the next question, how do the teams work and collaborate when they work from different time zones, let's say, which is very common in remote work?
Yeah, you work on your own time zone. It's not like you have to be up, stay up late or whatever. You work async. Is something called async communication.
Mm.
So everyone works async. Yeah.
Okay, so like there are some, I guess, companies that also don't work asynchronously, right? I mean, they don't communicate asynchronously. So how does that
Yeah, I
setup
mean,
work?
most companies like work asynchronously. If your company, if there's a remote company, good company, good culture, they won't ask you to like stay up till 2 a.m., 3 a.m. No, you have your own times fixed or whatever. Um, yeah, but if the company is not following async culture, then it's very hard to work remotely there.
So
So
even
find a company that does.
okay, so even in like asynchronous cultures, is there, any weekly meetings that you still have to attend apart from, all the work that you're doing asynchronously?
Yeah, we do. Yeah, we do weekly meetings. It's sometimes either like too early or like a little late at night. But I'm in London now, so for me it's perfect. I am in the very nice time zone. So like Asia region.
In the middle of
I'm in the
everything.
yeah, I'm in the middle. But when I was in India, then it was not very bad. It was okay. Meetings were like 8 9 p.m. only. Or if you're an early bird, then you can also get meetings at like 6 7 a.m. or something. Um, so I think it's up to you. But it won't be drastic. It won't be like 2 a.m., 3 a.m. Yeah.
Okay, okay, okay. Moving on to the next question. So a lot of students ask that in this increasing competition, I mean, since you have been guiding a lot of students, and a lot of students are following the same path. So in this increasing competition where everyone is doing the same thing, what are some of the ways to stand out in the crowd?
There is no increase in like competition because getting a remote job is very hard, and most people will quit after 1 week. So the competition will never come in remote work because it's very hard to get remote work. So don't worry about competition. It's going to stay the same, um, in India at least, because um, yeah, not many people want to work that hard for a job when they can get like just imagine like you just do data structure algorithm, some leak code questions, and then you get a job at a company. Most people will choose that way even if the pay is very less. But getting a remote job is hard. You have to work on yourself, your projects, your portfolio. It's not hard. It's like there's no one concrete answer. So I wouldn't say there's um there's like zero competition. I won't say that, but it's just that how much efforts you put in, you will get back in return. So you're not like really competing with anyone. On some individual level, maybe like if they're hiring and they're considering like 2 3 people, but in the end, if someone doesn't hire you, you can always apply to other company. That is not the case with if your only mindset is let's say fan. So FANG is just like, 4 or 5 companies. And if you get rejected for 4 or 5, you're like, okay, now I have nothing left. So that's not the case with remote work. There's hundreds and thousands of companies. So there's plenty of jobs for everyone. At least for the next few years, I think there are plenty of jobs for people. Well,
Okay.
ChatGPT will decide that. But for now, there are plenty of jobs for everyone.
Okay. So what's your say on ChatGPT? I mean, do you think that they would replace software engineers?
It will not replace engineers, but it will change the way we work a little bit, I think,
Yeah, it's going to
because
aid
it's
engineers.
mm, mm. It's going to help engineers, and I think that's good.
Yeah. Yeah. So there's a lot of scope when we talk about in terms of remote jobs. There's a lot of scope in machine learning and software development and DevOps. So what advice would you like to give to someone who is, let's say, pursuing UI, UX and design? Because people think that there are less remote jobs or something in those aspects in design and UI, UX.
Mm. What was the question again?
I'm asking that since I mean there's a lot of scope in remote jobs when we talk about
Mm,
DevOps or machine learning or things like that, people think that UI UX relatively has less remote jobs, let's say, or the way to get into remote
mm,
jobs when you're pursuing UI UX is a bit tricky because you don't have a maybe let's say you don't have that kind of uh,
mm.
portfolio that comes up for DevOps per se. So, what's your advice for those people who are pursuing design?
I don't know. I don't think so. I don't work in design, but I have people in Cebu who do. They're working remotely. So I think there's definitely like obviously people need web designers. So yeah, but I just say no comments because it's I don't see these things as like different than like you mentioned machine learning, software development, DevOps. Like if you're making a website, you need web design, you need posters, you need graphics, you need all sorts of things. So there's like I have hired plenty of like freelancers for my own like graphics work in the past. So I just recommend research and reach out to someone who works in web design or UI UX. They can help you. Maybe they can share from their experiences how hard it was or how easy it was to find a job. Yeah.
Yeah, and moving on to the next question, are cloud certifications worth it in getting a remote job? Any sort of certifications, not just cloud.
If it's like if you're just starting out, then no, you don't need it. Even senior engineers don't need it, but like if your work speaks for itself, then you don't need it. Yeah, you don't need it. I don't have any.
Okay, okay. So, is getting a remote job as an experienced person easier than that of a fresher?
Yeah, experienced people get remote jobs nicely. They are experienced. Freshers need to network with people, build their projects, portfolio, and then start out small and then grow from there. Um, yeah, that's true. But by experienced, I mean that you utilized your years that you worked in. Yeah.
Okay, so a follow-up question to that would be like how much does the pay differ when we talk about an experienced person and a fresher person? Like the packages that we talk about usually
Hmm.
50 LPA and stuff. Is this for experienced people or is this like complete fresher stuff that we're talking about?
So so there are four categories I can divide this in.
Okay.
So first category is very below average pay in remote work. Like if you're just getting hired, right now as a newcomer, the very, very below average pay that you can get is 20 lakhs per annum base pay. That's the minimum, like below average, which is a lot more than any company in India, right? Even Microsoft, Google, or for a fresher is what I'm saying. And these are all like four topics. The four categories are for like freshers only. Okay. The second category for freshers is around 40 LPA, right? So that is for people who are average, like for a little bit above average, right? Like 40 LPA or whatever, it's fine. Um, then comes a little bit like extraordinary, like above average, a little, no, not above average, but like some extraordinary. So what I mean by extraordinary, just next level open source contribution, contributing to biggest open source projects, added a new feature in Kubernetes, for example, React contributing to Facebook open source directly, speaking at events around the world, talking to senior engineers with 30, 40 years of experience in professional, like tech discussions and giving their opinions, just people who are not scared of, you know, all these things. They know what they're talking about, too much experience, GitHub contribution, next level. So these people are very few. They get around, like easily like 70s, 80s or something. And then there are like influencer level people who are like very, very few. They get more than a crore. Um, so the average people like in India, they lie if you want to work remotely, which is why I always say in the video, you can earn up to like on an average 40 lakhs per annum or something, which is for average people like you do, just nothing extraordinary, but just, like everyone else, you're working hard, you're putting yourself out there, 30, 40 lakhs per annum or whatever, you can get very easily. But for seniors, yeah, that increases quite a lot. That goes into crores then. Like you can make base pay at least 1.11 crores or 90 lakhs or something for senior engineers. Um, That's
Okay.
it. But it highly depends on company, is what I would say. Yeah, it highly depends on company. And I would say don't worry about it because even in remote job, if you're getting like the average pay, that is going to be 30, 40 lakhs per annum, which is a lot of money. So focus more on building your skills so you can reach that senior level of success, and then you can, work for more money. So as a fresher, don't worry about money that much because remote work is like it's going to take care of itself. Even if you're getting 20, 25 LPA, 30 LPA, it's more than enough for you as someone who is just, just
Starting.
graduated.
Yeah. Okay. So, like, do remote jobs require visa generally? Do you need visa to do remote jobs?
No. If a company requires visa to do to remote jobs, then don't go there. But it happens very rarely, but you don't require visa.
Okay. So, a lot of students ask that should they, master one technology or get good at multiple tech stacks? So, what's your say on that?
You can you get good in one or two tech stacks, but you have to be familiar with other tech stacks. So just be updated about what's happening in your surrounding and your nearing like neighboring domains. Um, try speaking to a CTO of any big tech, like not big tech, any good like startup, a complex startup. For example, what is a complex startup? Some like very complex tech, like CO, for example, where I work. We're literally a crowd provider, which is very big thing in itself. So obviously, the CTO of such a company is going to be very next level in terms of knowledge. You ask them anything in public or privately, ask anything about tech. I get so like I get so like I get so amazed. I'm asking anything and this person is answering about tech. How is this possible? How can someone know everything about tech? So try talking to some CTOs when you get a chance and ask them this question. How are you so up to date about what is happening in the industry? And they will tell you. That's the reason they are CTO. Mm, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, well said. So, a lot of students also have a lot of questions about taxes that happen. So students generally ask that if let's say I get a remote job in a company that is based out on USA or UK or anywhere in Europe or anything like that, do I have to pay taxes in both the countries, like my home country and the country that I'm working in as well?
No, you're just paying in you and anywhere like you're just paying tax. So I'll make it simple. You are going to pay tax in any country where you're getting the money. As simple as that. So all the money if you're getting is in India, then you will pay tax in India. If you're getting some money in India and some money outside India, then also you have to pay tax on all of that money. Let's say you have a bank account in US and you're getting some money over there, but you live in India and you get some money in your Indian bank account also. Now you'll be like, okay, now Indian government, they don't know that I have a bank account in US. I'll just put money in the US or I'll just put money in, let's say, Dubai or something. So that's wrong. That's actually illegal. Because if you're a resident in India or most countries, when you're a resident of a country, you have to declare your worldwide income. Okay. But if you're working remotely from India, like most people, obviously you will only be getting money in India. Like people from outside will send you money in India. So you'll just pay tax in India. That's it. Yeah.
Okay, so does these companies having a branch in India plays any role if let's say the company doesn't have any
If
branch in India?
company if company has a branch, then they will take care of taxes. Like they will give Form 16 that you can claim later on, just like everyone who does in India. If the company does not have a branch, then they will hire you either via a third party. If they hire you via a third party, there's a website like, for example, remote.com. Remote.com helps in hiring people around the world. They will take care of the taxes. And if they don't hire you via a third party, then you would have to take care of the taxes, which is very simple. Like, don't have to do anything much. Nothing extra you need to pay if you're getting money from outside India. Like, you don't have to pay GST. Um, so you will have to consult a CA, chartered accountant, and they will do it for you. Um, but uh, but you don't have to like as far as I'm concerned, like you don't have to pay any extra tax. You have to pay income tax, and there's no GST involved if the money is coming from outside India. Then there is no GST involved. Yeah. But one thing is, without tax, India taxes are too much uh, for everyone, not just for remote workers. Everyone who lives in India, the taxes are not 30%. If you earn more than 50 lakhs, then there is surcharge they apply. So when I was a student, I made like a few crores, and I asked my CA, hey, 30% tax, no problem, flat 30, okay. Like, no, you are earning in crores, so there's a surcharge after 1.5 crores, which is more than the one after 50. Then there's cess, then there's health charge, and then there's one more thing you have to take into consideration, which is if you're earning this much amount of money, then you have to pay tax that year only. You don't have to pay tax next year. Usually how we do it as a job, that we are earning this much, and then next year we will pay, financial year next one we will pay the tax. That's how everyone does. Not no. If you're earning that much amount of money, then every 4 quarters you have to pay advance tax. There is something called advance tax in India. I did not pay that, so I had to pay penalty on it also, because so I had to pay penalty also. So I'd say that the moment you start earning around 50 lakhs per annum per month, sorry, not per month, per year, if you start earning around 50 LPA per year, which is very easy in remote work, please get in touch with a chartered accountant. Don't pay any extra, legal fees, because I had to pay some charges because I didn't pay advance tax. So I think it was some percentage, which was a lot of money, which went into my fine or something. Um, so yeah, I mean, and consult a CA if you're getting 50 LPA.
Okay, that was very informative. So one last question that I have in my list is that can you share any advice on communication and how to build a strong professional network and relations to get noticed by maintainers or employers?
I'd recommend make network with people who are not popular on social media. Like this includes me also. Like I can't help you because I get a lot of messages. So I really can't help you personally. But people who can help you personally are the people who are like not popular. And since they are not popular, so how will you find them? Well, you will find them on in like open source communities, in specific projects. You go to an event, you will see these amazing people as the event speakers, for example. So these people are like not popular, but they are the foundation of computer science or whatever. Uh, I recommend network with them, but also recommend like in your network recommend I recommend networking with people in your domain, for example. So if you're into, let's say, machine learning, so you can join the TensorFlow community. If you're into web dev, then there are endless communities you can join. Um, if you want to open source, then you can join like Virtual Tech School, We Make Devs, Eddie Hub, CNCF. If you're into DevOps and stuff, um, so just get involved in communities, and also by building professional. One of them, how I have built my network is also by putting myself out there. So I get visible, I get discovered, and then people connect with me like, hey, amazing blog post, hey, very nice talk, hey, very nice video. So these are some of the things I would recommend you to do.
Okay, okay. So I guess that kind of wraps up the questions that I had. Now I think that we still can spare about 5-10 minutes. So if anyone would like to ask any questions from Kunal, then feel free to raise a hand. Any question about remote work or anything like that? If you have a question, just raise a hand. We have Pranav who has been having his hand raised, so I'm going to invite you to speak. Yeah, Pranav, please ask your question.
Hello, am I audible?
Yes.
Okay. Hello, Kunal and Apoorv. I want to ask this. I'm working as a tech lead in my small community in my college. So, does that count as an experience?
Yeah, again, it doesn't matter if you're a tech lead. What matters is what you do as tech lead. I think that's what matters most.
Uh, Thank you, thank you. Uh,
Yeah, any more questions?
Hey
Hello.
Kunal.
Hi, Kunal.
Hello, hello.
So Bhaiya, I just want to ask that, like, how to get a remote internship when you are a student, or like in which year you should apply?
You can apply like around end of first year if you have utilized your first year. You can apply anytime. I just say keep applying. If you have a little bit of knowledge also, then keep applying. Obviously, if you don't know much about, you know, in your industry or whatever, then you will high chance you will get rejected. But they don't expect interns to be like, very high level coders or whatever, because they know, okay, this person is an intern, so they're looking to just learn new skills and something. So I just say represent as much as you can. Like I mentioned, just about like, profile, networking, blogging, and open source, and just making projects, or just, you know, college level events also are fine. Going to hackathons, college hackathons, that's also great. But do something, just don't just sit there and just study and not represent what you're learning somewhere. So keep applying. There's no, I would never say don't apply, just keep applying. If you get rejected, no problem. Ask them, how can I improve? And improve, and then keep applying. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thanks, Gaurav, for the question. Mongoose, you can continue with your question.
Kunal, can you please tell me how you stay motivated when you had nothing at your very first stage? I mean, I've been learning stuff from past few months, but didn't getting any result.
Yeah, you can. I think it's good to celebrate small wins. Like you celebrate small wins. Um, you have to understand you're not alone. So like there's plenty of people who will help you. If you just get involved in the community and stuff, and then you will realize, okay, once you get involved, you'll realize what people are looking for, and then you will work towards that. Um, so yeah, motivation without action is just it's not going to do you much, you know. So I just spent my time like planning things and just doing things rather than wondering.
Okay,
Yeah.
thanks, Mongoose, for the question. Alicia, if you have any question, feel free to ask.
Hello, yeah, am I audible?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, hi Kunal. I have a question. I'm a first timer for the open source contribution. So I've been searching for good first issue, and there's also a website where I can get. But a lot of time goes in finding the good first issues. Like they have been assigned to many contributors, or maybe that there's a lot of old for good first issues. So it's very hard to find. And at the same time, if I put that much of time in building a project, then that would help me. But at the same time, I can't like talk to people.
Um,
So this is the issue.
you can if you don't find if you first of all you find a project you like, you want to contribute to. You will definitely have to work hard and learn new skills, because open source projects, the big open source projects, they are very complex. But I just say start small. Start by contributing to documentation. You can start by contributing to like you can even write blogs for the projects. I think that's good, like tutorials and stuff. You can then write some, like you can check out the test cases, maybe do some contribution in testing rather than the core code base. And around that, if you fail to find good first issues on like GitHub or something that is already taken, then you can just ask the person like, hey, I see this issue is assigned to you, but have not worked on it like for months. Can you maybe can you maybe help me? Oh, sorry, can I maybe help you or whatever? And the next one is you can also join the communities, like you can join their mailing list or their like Slack channel or whatever the project uses, and you can just send a DM over. Sorry, not a DM. You can just send in the public channel over there that, hey, I'm new in this project. How can I contribute? Can you suggest me some beginner friendly issues or anywhere I can help? And that should be it. Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks, Alicia, for the question. Muzan, you can go forward with your question.
Hello, am I audible?
Yes.
Yeah.
Hello, Kunal. Myself, Muzan. The thing is, I don't go to college or anything, and I don't have any college environment or like that, so I can contribute or can network with them. I tried different things like web development, where I'm currently doing CCNA in cybersecurity and also doing DevOps. So my question is like, how can I network with people? Because I don't go to college, I don't have any college environment or something like that.
But I never went to college either.
And
I
I
never
I I never did as well.
I know three people from my college. That's it.
Where I have tried with different people, they are from good colleges, so I got to know something from them. It's
I'd
like
say
that, but
don't network in colleges. You know,
okay.
like don't network with students.
I think
You are a
all the things that we are stating about, joining communities, being a part of them, and learning
yeah.
in public. I think
Contribute
all
to
of
open
these,
source, go to
yeah,
events. Yeah.
yeah, all of these things
Okay.
really help in, building a, network and, getting to know people, getting to know what they are doing because I have been in this environment of not going into college, so I know what challenges you usually face when you're not in that setup. So just try to, be part of communities and try to be active on social media, see what other people are doing to just to stay updated, what the trends are going because I mean, since there are so many motivated students in today's time, everyone is just staying updated with what's happening and they're trying to learn what the new things that are coming up, the new tools that are coming up to aid software engineers and things like that. So if you stay active in all these communities and stuff, it would really benefit you in finding peers that you can actually learn with.
Yes, yes. The thing is, right now I'm currently not a good communicator. I got nervous most of the time. So that's the main issue for me.
So this was a good experience for you, speaking in front of about
Yes, this is the first
100
time I'm
plus.
speaking.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, congratulations on that, and just continue with the good work. Try to attend Twitter Spaces and other events that happen, and try to speak up in those events. That really helps in boosting the confidence.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. Yash, you can continue with your question.
Hello Kunal, hello Apoorv.
Hi.
My question is, does do clones count as good front end or back end projects, or do I need to create something innovative?
Yeah, I don't like people who do clones. Most people, I'll tell you the reason because most people just copy the CSS files. That's it. Also, it's also not good for the company because they may be facing like uh, legal like copying like impersonation issues or whatever. Don't do clones. Make your own projects.
Yeah, cloning is good for learning, but I mean it's not
Don't share
something.
it anywhere.
Yeah, it's not something that you have to include in your portfolios.
So when I for example, you were talking about putting yourself out there. So when I make clones and if I share my progress, is that fine, or I shouldn't do that as well?
That is not fine because you are if you create a clone of like your company or a startup, don't do that. Don't share it because or don't deploy it because that's like you may face like some it's the company may face some like impersonation charges or whatever. It's not doesn't look good for the brand, so don't do that. What you can do is maybe just make your own what you can do is like if you're making let's say a clone of Amazon, right? For example, that's a
Hmm.
good example. So you can definitely do that, but don't mention Amazon in it. Give it some other
Okay,
name. Like
I
yeah, give it
can
some other
change
name. Like
that.
shopping cart. Yeah. So that's what I mean. Like just don't make it like okay, Amazon and then using the exact Amazon logo and everything. It's copyright issues, don't do it. But you can change the name and then you can do it. Yeah.
So I can copy the structure, and I can change the details.
I
That's
would not recommend, yeah, I would not recommend copying anything. Just make everything from your own because if you're just copying the files, like the HTML, CSS file, everyone can see that and they will know like, okay, it's just a copy pasted CSV file, so CSS file. So make it from scratch if you want to.
Yeah, build something
okay.
similar, not exactly the same.
Okay, okay. Thank you.
That's also good for learning as well. I mean, you can follow a tutorial and just copy paste what the tutor is doing, but that doesn't helps.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. Uh, So I guess we are going to have our final question from Akshay. Akshay, you can ask your question. I think I've muted him.
My question is that I'm from New Delhi, and I just want to tell that I did UPSC preparation for 6 years, and after that I just since last 5 months I started a tech journey, and I did Microsoft Azure Fundamentals course for cloud computing, and currently I'm taking training of DevOps, and also I just met Apoorv in some DevOps meeting. So after getting some from his guidance, I also started a community with my learnings, and all. I also just started writing blogs and attended some events like Chandigarh meetup with Sayyam Pathak and all, and some daily meetups and all. So my question is that, Kunal, that what else are required to make a strong portfolio for getting a remote job and all?
What was
Uh,
the last question?
I'll just repeat the question. So basically, he has started his own community and he prepared for UPSC for the last 6 years. And recently, he got into DevOps, I think, in the last 6 months or something. And he started his own community, Grow in Community. So his question was that after, he's been doing all this networking and attending events. So what are the skills that he should, add in his portfolio in order to grow, let's say, in the DevOps field?
Your projects and your skill set in DevOps. You said you did some certifications. You can add those. That might help a little bit. And yeah, just more of your work that you have done. Going to events is not enough. You have to do work. So open source, if you have time, you can do that. But that's what I would recommend. Yep.
Okay. Okay, so I think that was pretty much it. We are not going to have any more questions because we are running short on time. So thanks Kunal for being a part of our event. And
Yeah.
if you have any final
Yeah.
words.
No, just for like everyone asking questions, and I know previous guy was asking again. It's just like the answers won't help you that much. The action would. So you have to work on it, or obviously. And all the things I've mentioned. This is more than enough. Like everyone knows this. So you may feel like you have questions or whatever, but you don't. Um, yeah, and just one closing one would be just, yeah, get involved and contribute, and yeah, I think I shared in the channel as well, the showcase, sorry, share opportunities channel that you have in launch. So I shared our blogging event, so you can take part in the blogging events as well. But yeah, I'm happy to join, and yeah, thanks for having me. Check out Apoorv's channel, and yeah, we did a podcast also recently. Yeah.
Yeah, thanks Kunal for being a part of our podcast, and thanks everyone for tuning in. If you learned something, then to make sure to share it with others. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks Kunal for joining.
Yep.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay. Take care of yourself, Ronald.
Bye. Bye.
Bye
Goodbye.
everyone.
Goodbye, everyone.